Okay,
so this week what we're doing is we're just going to do a simple Q&A about the information I've been presenting. If this is your first time, you can go on Rumble or YouTube and look up Onionhead Andrew and go back to the live classes, the 1 through 9. This will be the 10th one, I believe. And you can see for yourself some of the stuff we've been talking about. But very simply put, we're talking about the same information every week. And the information is how to overcome directed energy weapons. And the first step is deactivating implants. The second step is wearing DIY electrical components, which is like shielding, but it's not shielding. It's much better. And the third thing is detoxing nanomaterials and heavy metals. And nanomaterials and heavy metals are always clumped together. And it's those nanomaterials and heavy metals, once they get into the body, they get pulsed or pulled to the implants, and then directed energy weapons trigger those pathways from the implant into the internal parts of your body. And that's what's creating the electrified response, or basically the symptoms of directed energy weapon attacks like we're experiencing them. That's not to say that directed energy weapons wouldn't work without them. They do. It's just they are far, far, far less effective. All right? It's like to a degree that's it's not even really worth talking about, because everyone that's getting attacked with directed energy weapons has nanomachinery in them. And almost everyone in Western society has nanomachinery in them. Okay, so the only people that aren't are very far off grid, and then even then they'd have to be eating very healthy to keep this stuff out of them. Targeted individuals, they're implanted to cultivate or culture the nanomaterial in specific areas of the body at specific times. Basically, once you're implanted with these very, very tiny, very, very tiny, so tiny that they're not going to show up in any ultrasounds or anything like that. Although there is implants that would show up that you'll get in like surgeries or when you go to the dentist or something like that. But these ones, the majority of us have, all of us have, that are the majority of the implants out there, are so tiny, unbelievably tiny. They're shot through electromagnetic rail guns. Usually while people are in public, sometimes while they're at their house, there's method where they can shoot through some types of materials, i.e. drywall, some types of siding, that type of thing, to implant you with these little things. These little things, they make your body, your outside, they make a target for the directed energy weapons and the ambient systems that convert magnetic energy in the air from the energy weapons to the implant. The implant in turn turns that into a pulse, and it continuously pulses, right? And that pulse brings nanomaterials, nanomachinery, and heavy metals to that implant. From implant to implant, you'll get these daisy chains, or which is to say just a chain, a street, an avenue, whatever you want to call it. And each implant becomes like a hub. From these implants, you get like a network of this nanomachinery that grows out in like a filament, a web form. And that web is interacted with directed energy weapons to send that voltage internally. Okay, so that's the paradigm of information. That's very quickly how to overcome it. If you haven't been here before, that's what we always talk about. We always talk about how to overcome directed energy weapons, because I'm not really interested in much more. And until we're free, this is what the focus is always going to be for me. And when one of us is dealing with this, eventually all of us will be dealing with this. So that's what we talk about. That's going to be the topic of today, as it is always the topic. We're going to open this up to Q&A on people that want to, that have been working on various things, or want to know more various things with the paradigm, or want to know more about it in general because it's their first time. Today is just a simple Q&A. Normally I have a presentation to illuminate another aspect of this, because although there's 3 points: deactivating implants, building these wearable components, and detoxing, each one of those categories, I could go into great detail about. All right, so I could just sit here and ramble the whole day. I'm not going to do that. I have before. Not doing that today. Today we're opening it up for a Q&A starting right now. So if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away. And stay on topic, please.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. This is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
So are you saying that the wearables that you're wearing, different components that you've made in different places and connecting them all together?
Yes, they're all connected together through a conductive layer that you wear underneath.
But they're not connected with string or wire or tape or something else?
Not necessarily, but they could be. You could make it like that. I have before. But more importantly, you get that conductive layer underneath these components. And for everyone that's first time, I haven't heard this before, the components she's talking about is capacitors and inductors. And capacitor inductors, when you mix the two. That's primarily what you should do, is mix the two.
I still am very curious about what you're wearing. Like, did you go with a belt and a chest piece? Or
I'm wearing, I'll tell you, I'm wearing capacitor inductors, which is wire put in a ring with capacitive layers over the top of that. I am wearing that on my body. I'm wearing 3 to 4, depending on the day, 5, depending on the day, depending on my symptoms. I have connected those rings with wire to make them hold up better on my body, so that the whole thing is one piece that I can take on and off quickly.
Oh, so they're all connected.
Yes.
With wire.
But that's not necessarily making it function better. What's making it function better is the conductive layer underneath it.
What's your conductive layer?
The conductive layer is copper, silver. I use various things, whatever I can find. What's that called? Reflectex. Reflectex is a great one. It's an insulation with what's the name of that? Oh, that's so annoying. It's escaping me. It starts with a T. It's the I don't know. Just look it up. Reflectex insulation. It's got.
And so
that's so annoying.
I bought shielding fabric a while ago to and it would work also, like fabric that was EMF protection or
No, it needs to be conductive. It needs to have metal in it, and the reason I say fabric is because it's got to be on your body, so it's got to be able to bend while you move, right? But it doesn't need to be fabric.
Okay, but fabric that is specific with metal in it would work. Yes,
because that's what conductive means. It means it can carry an electricity. What?
It I put it on, but it slips and slides all around. It doesn't stay put.
Well,
I made a so, and but the material is so slippery. So I didn't.
I'm sorry. Continue.
That's okay. I'm just still trying to figure out, I spent a lot of time making different components, and I'm trying to figure out how to wear them or whatnot. So still just experimenting.
Well, like I was saying before, if you turn it into one piece, then you can wear the whole thing hanging from you, right? But it's not. You're not going to be able to figure this out your first time by any means. That's not true, actually. You could figure it out your first time. It's just that building these components is totally dependent on the symptomology that you're approaching, right? So, what are you experiencing? Which part of your bodies is being targeted heavily, and then where are you getting your symptoms? That being said, generally speaking, if you make rings, the capacitor inductor rings, like I'm talking about, and you wear them on your midsection with wire connecting them, right? Then you can hang it from your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wear a conductive layer underneath that, then it'll work.
Hey,
what if
where'd you get all this information, dude?
Hold on, Jonathan. Wait, pause yourself. Rachel's still talking, and then I can talk. We'll talk here in a second.
Could I wear some conductive clothing and then some regular clothing and then my pieces on top? Or does that not help?
You would want the metal between the conductive layer between your skin and the electrical components. The electrical components is basically going to make a circuit, and it's that inductive capacitive circuit is going to be connected on the metal conductive layer, and then that's going to be interacting with your skin. So as this EMF interacts with you, it'll interact with that circuit and go into neutral, or whatever you want to call it.
I've felt some good effects with it, but it seems like kind of like other shielding where I can hear it pinging on my shielding, but then eventually they just move. So like I had it on my belly last night, and I had like 2 circles on either hip. I was just kind of laying them on me and moving them around. And, you know, sometimes I could really feel the circles like pinging, like they weren't getting through to me. They were hitting my circles instead. But then they just kind of move and try a different angle.
Well, so that conductive layer, it carries the effect to everywhere it's touching.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why that conductive layer is so important. If you connecting these capacitor inductor rings with wire is not that important. We're not dealing with current flowing through the objects we're making. We're dealing with we're dealing with, I don't even know the right way to say it, with it moving through it. It's not going through the wire, it's moving through the object interacting with you. All these weaponized different frequencies, from ELF to gamma rays. So we're not dealing with wire connected like we would in the circuit in a wall. We're dealing with it coming through from the outside to the inside of our bodies.
And I'm curious about your belt that you made that looked like a wrestling belt. Is it you made a ring and then bent it into the shape of a belt, or the whole thing is just...
So that was that. So what that is, the first layer is wire, copper wire. I did that for structure, but it also helps the capacitor work better too. There's a specific reason for that. We haven't gone over. I'll go over it a different time. But it was copper wire, ran this way, right? So parallel to the ground, and then let's say like 4 or 5 strands of that copper wire, and then it was a plastic layer over that to insulate that copper wire, because that copper wire wasn't insulated, and then it was aluminum over that, aluminum tape, and then plastic wrap over that, and then aluminum tape, and then plastic wrap. So for a total of 3 or 4 layers. After that point, I wrapped more wire around it, and then I did the same thing again. So I had 2 sets of wires and 2 sets of capacitance, which is to say each set of capacitance had 1 layer of plastic and 1 layer of aluminum. So it's wire, aluminum, or it goes wire, plastic, aluminum, plastic, aluminum, plastic, aluminum, wire, plastic, aluminum, so forth. And then that's how I made it.
And your 4 wires that you start with originally are just straight and parallel to the ground. They're not twisted or wrapped or in a circle or.
It would make it more effective if it was twisted, and it would make it more structurally sound if it was twisted. But you can do it either way. The copper originally was for structure, so I could make whatever shape I wanted to. But it does actually help the capacitor work.
It's not a donut that you bent into the shape of a belt.
No. It was like an open. It was like a line. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And then I bent that line after it was made to become that belt. And I barely use that anymore because that was like the first go of figuring this out. But if I wanted to, or if let's just say like I mailed it to one of you, if you wore a conductive layer, first layer, and then you put that belt on, touching that conductive layer, the effect of the belt bringing these ambient and directed energy weapon systems into null would be spread throughout much of the conductive layer. It would be hard to know, all the area that it's reaching of the conductive layer, but the conductive layer would spread it. Just that simple, because there's so much ability to neutralize this energy in that one device, because I put so much material into it. And there's a very specific reason for that. We're talking about collapsing magnetic fields into dielectric ones and then back and forth. That's just like you're like. Okay, go ahead.
Can you tell us what wearable components you really have stuck with and are wearing currently?
Well, the inductor capacitor rings with the conductive layer underneath.
Across your chest, or
what?
Across your chest or up over your shoulders?
Yes, covering my organ sac. Well, organ sac.
Okay.
Below the chin, yeah. Below the chin, above the legs.
Covering that area with circles.
With what?
Toroidal shapes. With toroidal shapes?
With the rings. Yeah, with a ring. With the capacitor inductor rings, which is, for everyone that's hearing this for the first time, which is a ring of wire, and then you put plastic wrap and aluminum tape and 3 layers, at least 3 or 4 layers, something like that, over that, so it's all one contained ring. And then like I said, I've got those on. I'm wearing 3 to 5 of them any given time in my midsection, which are all connected, so that it's one piece that I can take on or off. Okay. And like I use various things to connect it. Sometimes wire. Sometimes it's that the other pieces are holding the ones that I'm taking on and off on.
Mhm. Okay,
now,
thank you so much.
I stuck mine on with saran wrap. Is that bad?
I mean, what works for you for now? Let's see. So, yeah, what I liked doing at first was just using whatever wire I could to make like hangers on my shoulders, on my chest or whatever. But now what I like doing is using the Romex to do the same thing, because the Romex is insulated, it's softer, and it covers a wider area, it digs into your skin less. So you can make a nice harness.
So do that with the Romex cable. Do the aluminum and the saran wrap.
Yeah, to make the capacitor inductor. Are you currently just using wrapped wire?
No, it's sandy. I have a lot of wrapped wire. I've got like 7 packs, and I pack them all over me with a Faraday. And then I Well, that I did that one day, and then I wrapped the Romax cable around all of that. I look like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, I know. At first, when you're figuring this out, you look like a mess. I look like a mess still, to be honest, because I'm getting hit so hard. I just don't ever take the stuff off. But if you mix the coiled wire with the capacitor in any shape that can fit onto your body, just think about like not to be crude, but I don't have boobs, so like the what works for me might not work for you. You can make like a capacitor mat that's like like the front of a shirt kind of, and then you could use wire to give that shape and structure, and it will help the capacitor function more. And you can do that two ways. You can put the wire on the outside of the capacitor mat, or you can build the capacitor mat around the wire. And that's why we were talking about those rings. The easiest way to build the capacitor around the wire is to make a ring out of the wire and then go from there. And it's probably the most effective shape because of the way toroidals work with stuff like that. But it's good hearing from you, Sandy.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Did that make sense?
Yeah. I have some really heavy copper wire that I twisted, and then I ordered some more, but it's really little gauge and it's soft. But I just continued to twist that and twist it and twist it, and I've got those in little circles. So will those also work? The much less gauge? I don't know what it is. It's like jewelry gauge.
Yeah, it'll work. It's whatever is comfortable for you, and then even if it doesn't work, you can take those wires and twist them even more, and like just basically you're making a thicker gauge.
Yeah.
For what we're doing.
I am being hit so hard. I mean, constantly. So it's just, I've been wearing that, and I didn't think it was doing much good, but once I took that off and still got hit, it was really doing an amazing job, actually.
Well, yeah, because you're getting hit so much harder because you're fighting back. The more you do to preserve your life and fight for your freedom, the more these people are going to try to hurt you. And that's just the nature of all of this. We're dealing with like a human trafficking gang. Every targeted individual is dealing with a different human trafficking gang. But they're all connected, obviously, the federal government. And then if you're in Britain or whatever, and there's a transnational element to this too. It's like you take a British person involved in this human trafficking, and they could easily come here under some NATO agreement and do it to you here. And you'll see in my targeting a few years ago, I guess this was a while ago now, but there's a bunch of West Africans. They were shipping in West Africans under NATO agreements, the U.S. military, to do this to U.S. civilians. But anyways, sorry, I rambled again.
Like last night, I didn't have my glasses on, and it was in the middle of the night, and I reached up to pull a chain on my ceiling fan to get the lights on, and I looked into the lights, and when I shut the light off, those lights were like embedded in my eyes, so I realized for the first time how much metal I must have throughout my body. I mean,
okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because I got your email about that. I just hadn't had time to respond. Like I was saying, I think it was 2 presentations ago. That was a really good information. We're going to broach it again, in another lecture or whatnot. But there are 2 types of nanomachinery. There's more than that. There's a whole bunch. But there's 2 types that will commonly come across being targeted. And that's the smart dust and smart filaments that's released in aerosols around us, whether it's in chemtrails or it's literally being released by various spook human traffickers that have rented out trap houses or made houses into trap houses near us, or apartments or whatever. Many of you know this, right? That you're like getting chemicals through your walls and crap like that. Mm-hmm. But anyways, there's smart dust and smart filaments in those aerosols, right? That's the probably the most common form. That smart dust, smart filaments, it pioneers, it first incubates in your lungs, your stomach, and your intestines. All right, covered this in great detail on Onionhead Andrew, Rumble, Why I Know That. It's not just me. I'm not the only one to figure that out. In fact, I didn't figure that out. Other people smarter than me figured that out. But the other one, Sandy, what you're talking about right now is they're called nano walkers. Now, that's not my terminology. That is the terminology of the people that invented this in 2004, and it was New York State University, I believe. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Doesn't matter. But these are DNA-sized robots, and it's not like a robot that you would think of. But these can be released in aerosols, but more commonly they're during break-ins. They're sprayed in your environment, and what they do is they crawl to areas that have a radio frequency tag on them, or some sort of frequency. I don't know the frequency that activates them. I do know the frequency that they resonate at, one of them. But either way, let's just say like this weapon system, they aim at your eyes. So these nano walkers that were sprayed onto your bed, and you're currently on your bed, or maybe even your clothes, usually it's furniture and clothes, and your eyes are being triggered, like mine are currently right this minute. These little tiny, they're literally 10 nanometers large. Well, they take hours to crawl, very little spaces, crawl into your eyes. At that point, when they crawl into your eyes, they deposit a payload. That payload is pretty much their body, becomes nanomachinery. So, yes, you have heavy metals in your eyes, but more accurately, you're getting these nano walkers from your environment crawling into your eyes. And that's how these people, even when you're detoxing, can still have an effect on your body, is with these really quick nanoforming nanomachines. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but aren't they afraid of them too? These people that are throwing them on you, aren't they getting them too? I mean, I don't understand how they're not getting affected.
Well, no, they don't worry about those at all, really, because those ones there's a trigger they have, right? So they can actually control nanowalkers pretty well. But generally speaking, these people don't really care about anything they're doing because they're all, not all of them, but a lot of them are lost, right? I'll give you an example. I was just thinking about this a second ago because it impacted me a second ago. One of my spook neighbors, it's a long story, this really bad guy though. When I'm outside for any length of time, he'll turn on his grill. And in the fire of his grill, he'll put this nano particulate. And as this nano particulate heats up in the grill, it'll move around, it'll leave his grill, and it'll become controllable with weather weapons. At that point, it gets brought into my breezeways and then into my breathways, and I breathe it, right? And then the idea is that the heavy metal in that nanoparticulate that he put in his barbecue is getting in my lungs, in my body, and is helping the directed energy weapon systems be more effective, But here's the thing, and I was just thinking about this today. It's been going on for years, right? Every time I smell meat and it's coming from that barbecue, this stuff is going up through his food. And then he's eating it, or he's serving it to his family.
That's sick.
How mind-controlled do you have to be to eat the crap? It's supposed to hurt me. He knows it's supposed to hurt me. But then he throws meat on it, and then he eats it. That's how far gone these people are.
What about with the respirator?
Go ahead.
What about can you wear a respirator? You think it'll filter it out?
No, because I think it will help in certain weather conditions. Man, I've got so many good ideas about this, about how to knock down the particulate. I just don't have that much money right now. But hopefully I can figure that out more. But no, under certain conditions when it's very cold, if you turn on your security camera, and you will see it reflect in low light, and it can clump pretty big, so like a little bit bigger than dust, but that would help. A respirator would help with that, but that's not usually the case. And even when you're seeing it clumped up like that, there's still the finer material out there. And we really are dealing with micro and nano levels. So,
does it go through a face mask?
Right.
Yes,
I mean,
it would go through.
You get a double cartridge, respirator with some fabric or some filter, another filter on the outside of it. Triple filter it through. I don't know.
It would help. It would help, Charlie.
Yeah. If you know it's coming. You can't wear that thing all day long, right?
Yeah, but I've
they're doing.
It's not that effective. It's not that effective for the amount of breathing your own exhaust you get.
Yeah.
I
got a couple.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I got a couple questions. The copper fan, right? I made a couple of them. In fact, I put two single wires on each blade on the fan instead of using a single one. You made one with a single one, and I don't know if that increases the the effect of it because you're putting two copper wires on each blade. Also, does it matter what speed you're using the fan on, or does the low speed work just as well as the high speed?
The more copper you put on the blades, the faster you spin it, the more effect it's going to have. You do not need to be in the same room to experience the effect of it. It's producing compressional waves. Longitudinal waves is another way to say it. Scalar waves is like the bullshit way to say it. But those waves help demagnetize the particulate, and not only that, but your body and the area around you. That's how that works. So you don't need to be in the same room. Not that you asked.
You don't. So I've got a couple fans going currently, and you said it'll keep the break-ins from happening using that fan.
Well, if you knock enough particulate out of the air with those fans, then their ability to use invisibility cloaks goes way down. Now, that's not saying that they still won't try, you know. But if you've got but here's the issue, right? Is that you're alone, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue. Whenever you have any defense, not that what you're doing isn't right, because what you're doing is right, but when you have any defense, it needs to have a threat behind it. It needs to, even so, like a dog would help you a lot,
Yeah.
Just something that would, because if they can't use the cloaks, but they can still run in and run out, they'll try to do that too.
Well,
right?
I made some kind of sensor, alarm sensor, but it only gives one ding when it passes the infrared beam, and I'm trying to get hook it up to a latch. I don't know if you know what a latch relay is. Somehow I'm trying to figure out how to hook up a latch relay to it, so when it triggers, then the alarm will stay on. But if they come through and it just has one ding or one alarm, it's not really going to work. So
I'm glad you reminded me. What I used to use was the, I think it's ultrasound is how it works. I can't remember, but it's the motion sensor one. Is that what you're using?
Yeah, it's a infrared sensor. I forgot what they call it. I bought it off of this company, and I'm wiring it up through the horn and everything. So, because everything you buy online has internet or some other crap tied to it. So this one sensor has nothing tied to the internet or a remote sensor or something like that, right? So And like I said, I bought a latch sensor, latch relay. So when it triggers, when the beam triggers, the horn will continually go off until you manually turn it off. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I have the latch relay. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, I don't. But the way I used to do it back when I was still worried about that, not that I'm not anymore. I still think about it all the time. But it's just the thing is that they will always try to adjust. So lately here, they've been chemtrailing more effectively. And I know why, but I can't really do much about it right this second.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming the demagnetizing effect a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And because of that, I know that when this particulate is in the air, their camouflage systems work better. Okay, so I have put up defenses because of that. I don't want to get too far into it, right? But the way I used to do it, not currently, but used to, is still very effective, is that the motion sensors, you can buy those at Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, and they're not wired to the internet, and they're just battery driven, and you can hide those. So you can do it so nonchalantly that you might even forget where they are to a little bit. But then you take the remote sensor part of it, and which is like set up to be like a song or something like that, like Beethoven's Fifth. It's got like 20 different ringtones, and I would sleep with that right next to my ear, like right underneath my pillow. So the second it went off, a lot of times it would, because of like raccoons or something. I would know just by looking at it what sensor had been set off. It would say 1, 2, or 3. And the song was loud enough and long enough that it would wake me up. And that system cost me $20.
That's not bad. Well, the sensor I bought was like $50 on Amazon. So it was a little expensive, but I'm trying to work it out. But it didn't come with very good instructions. But like I said, I'm trying to hook the latch relay. The latch relay keeps the siren or the horn going continuously until you manually turn off that relay, and you hook it up to that sensor. So when it triggers, the latch relay kicks in, and continuously the horn goes off until you shut it off. And I was trying to put it near the door in case they break in. It's a work in progress. So
I've got these little Wise cameras, and I have them in every room, and they connect to my phone. So anytime that motion goes off, that camera bings on my phone. So every room, my garage, everything has one of those cameras in it, and they're cheap, and it doesn't cost you to connect it to your phone.
They get around that. I have a Wise camera. I pay for the service. They get around it. So the camera's not going to pick it up.
The first night I had a wired security system, I connected to the Wi-Fi just to test their capacity to hook into it. And literally that first night they tried messing with the footage. That first night, which I knew was going to happen, so I went back, I checked, and it was like literally by the 6th hour of it being on, they had messed with it. So I un-Wi-Fi'd it, and they never had that ability again. So they're in everything. Yeah.
I got a cell camera. I never caught any of them.
Yeah.
And when I lived in the apartment, I had to go up and get a package or my mail and come back within it literally took me 8 minutes to do it. And they were in and out of my apartment, and no film, nothing on camera.
There was a lady, her name was Brandy Vaughn. She died. She got murdered by these people, same group of people we're dealing with. And she was a whistleblower against Big Pharma back during the height of the COVID days. She had a really robust security system before she was targeted. So the first time they broke into her house, she got all the data from it. They broke in through the front door, they left through the back window, They were in her house for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. In that 3-4 minutes, they put up a whole bunch of cameras all around her house. That's how quick these people will operate.
Yeah.
When they're breaking into our places, what they're doing is they're spraying nanowalkers, they're spraying our food to make it poisonous, they're tampering with our water supply, and they're tampering with our drains so that more chemical wicks up from the drains. That's primarily what they're doing. And they're trying to do that all as quick as possible.
I know. They're in my refrigerator. I had a cable shut, wired with all this other crap on it, and I bought this expensive lock. It cost me $175. It was an Israeli lock, and it's almost unpickable. And I put the key card in my wallet, and they broke into my apartment and got the key card. So it was like within the days after I got the lock, and it made the lock worthless, and I paid $175 for it.
Well, that's great though that they had to steal the key card. That means that they couldn't pick it.
Yeah.
Or it took them too long. It's too much effort.
Okay. And I had to buy it and made sure the company sent it to me within 2 days, so they couldn't stop the package. I called the company up, and I really tried to do my best to try to get that lock. So
well, this goes to a bigger point that I've said a lot, but if you have the capacity, if you have anyone that you can move in with or, whatever, especially your family, do it, because you think you're making their life worse, but what you don't know, or maybe you do, is that when you're targeted, your whole family's targeted too. And when they're done human trafficking you, they'll move on to someone else that's near you. Usually it's another family member. Like 9 times out of 10. It's what it is. I'm sorry for everyone.
I don't want that to happen to my family. So
it's already happening. This is my point, though. That was exactly what I was saying, is that you're not doing anyone a benefit by isolating from them. You think you are, but you aren't. And this is, I wouldn't know particularly. So, you know what I mean? Like, I could be wrong. Hopefully I am, right? I don't want to be right about any of this. Yeah. But usually this is what I see. And the reason for that is because when they go after one person, they go after all the contacts, all the acquaintances, all the friends, all the family, and they put them all on data logs. And they start watching all of them too, right? So that over time, it ends up being the most profitable and economical, you know what I'm trying to say, at the same time, just to go after the person that they've spent near as much time as you tracking, recording, and all that. That's actually how it came to me, is that I wasn't the first person targeted in my family.
Oh, really?
And and this is a really, really common story, right? It's very, very common. So anyways, keep that in mind. If you can figure it out, living with your family is probably the best. And I know it's like you got to explain everything and it takes time and all that, but it's, like I said, it benefits everybody in the long term.
No, I was staying with him for a while, and it didn't work out. So, and my sister and brother-in-law actually called the cops on me and tried to get me committed. So that didn't work out. So I don't.
Well, and they'll get hit with directed energy weapons at the same time, or alternating times as you, to cause fights. I've seen that happen a lot. Anytime I get near any target in person, I see the other target, the other person, just get railed with electromagnetic weapons.
Yeah, I got a third radiation detector, and this thing doesn't go up as high as the micro SDs, but it's going off more consistently, more often. So it's very different. And all 3 of them very rarely go off at the same time. So I don't know what that means, or maybe they're just constantly putting radiation inside the house. Maybe they're trying to find me inside the house, or
there are ambient undirected energy weapons and directed energy weapons that they're in your environment. But hey, real quick, so Charlie, you've deactivated implants, right?
Oh well, I got I have the EMP with the I have two of them, right? The EMPs, the taser. But I don't know if it's really working. It doesn't really affect the radiation detector. It's just, but I'm doing it constantly. I don't know if I have to increase the coil, the wire, or something like that, maybe to make it more effective. I have like 8 turns on on both of them.
No, I'm sure they're working fine. Are you wearing components?
I have a capacitor, what do you call it, around my chest.
Uh-huh.
It's like I have a clip and I put it on my T-shirt and let it hang down. So part of it, up on top, and then the back is like down below. And then on my left arm, I have a coil, and then around my neck, I have something, and on top of my head, underneath the radiation hood, I have another one. So aluminum.
And what's the difference between you wearing those and not wearing them?
I don't know if I could tell. I don't know if I can tell or not. I don't know.
Okay, well, take them all off, right? When you get an opportunity, when you want to, obviously. I'm just my opinion. Yeah. Take them all off and see what your symptoms are, right? And don't do just once. Do it a few times because they might mess with you, right? And then when you get an opportunity, get some of that that conductive material that you'll wear underneath and put them back on with that conductive material on underneath and see if that increases their effectiveness. It should greatly increase the effectiveness.
I got the Tommy Copper sleeve on my arm, and then I put the coil on top of it. I have a clip on it.
Well, I mean, like, I'm more talking like, God, I just cannot remember the name of this, but it's so irritating. But
the flex coil? Talking about the flex coil at Home Depot? You talking about?
Reflectix. Yeah, that's got a nice aluminum layer on it that will make a good conductive layer for you to use. But no, what's that material made out of? That insulative material.
The Tommy Copper?
No, the Reflectix.
Reflectix?
Faraday?
No, no.
Say it again?
Faraday?
No. Oh well, sorry. It's just totally slipping my mind right now.
That's
but get a conductive layer of fabric. You can use like what?
Mylar.
Thank you. Mylar. Thank you. Yes, you can get Mylar pretty cheap anywhere, in a whole bunch of different forms, and holographic material in general, like holographic paper or whatnot, has got metal in it too that you could use, or holographic paper, plastic, that stuff like you would get at Michael's for like to cover a table for like a birthday party or something like that. That's got metal material in it too, so that's actually conductive enough to use in this way. But if you get something like that, again, like holographic, like metal foil cloth, that you would get from like Craft Warehouse, that also has enough metal for this.
So Mylar grips, right? I had that thing all around my room at my house a long time ago when it first started. When I first started getting hit, realized I was getting hit. I put Mylar on the ceiling and the walls, and it's like I look at it and say, I'm crazy. But you said wrap Mylar around your arms or your body or something like that, or
wear it like a poncho, and then put the electrical components over it, and that Mylar will work as the conductive layer, and it will spread the effect of the electrical components to everywhere in your body. This is what I'm guessing what's going on with you, okay, is that number one, you don't have enough components on because you're really getting hit hard. And that's just based off everything you told me. 2 is that you are drinking poison water and you're eating poison food. So you've got a bunch of this heavy metal crap in you. But that being said, and nanoparticulate, you can still overcome it if you increase your wearables. So get that conductive layer and get more wearables on you after you get the conductive layer. But first, test it out. Take it all off and see if it's helping you at all. And then put the conductive.
I wear radiation gear, right? I have leaded apron, and I wear a kilt, and then I wear like a radiation diaper, and I got that under there to protect my groin area. But,
well, what I've noticed about the radiation material, the anti-radiation material, is that oftentimes during break-ins they'll spray it with chemicals so that when it touches your skin it will hurt you. And not only that, but it will like make a scent that will hurt you. Like they'll like spray basically herbicides and pesticides, and it makes a synthetic heavy metal compound. That's usually what they do if they get access to it ever, is they spray it with these herbicides and pesticides. And they'll do the same thing with the wearable components too.
Oh, okay.
Which goes back to the point of, you've got that problem living alone.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get some Mylar. Try to get some Mylar. Wear the poncho and everything. Also, I bought the vibration plate.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I bought one on Amazon, and their finances. It's like $65 for 3 months. So it kind of brings out the cost, which is good. Not that bad, right? Because it's around $200.
Yeah, I do shaker plate all the time, as much as I can.
How long do you?
I put it at 100, and I go for 20 minutes, and then I get off of it, and then I put both my arms on it, and I shake my arms for about 20 minutes. Well, it varies after standing on it 20 minutes with my arms, but I really have something going up my arm really bad, so I try to shake my arms a good 10 minutes too.
Now, Sandy is a little bit farther ahead of you because she can feel the specific chain of nanomachinery that I've been talking about. And you just got to that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now when you use the shaker, you can feel the direct area it's affecting.
Exactly. And just different things that when I put my zapper on, I have to take the zapper and I go to different areas. And when I feel all the tingle through my body, that's where I know I've caught a line. So I try to follow where that line is going in my body, and then I just zap along that line. And I definitely have a line on my arm that goes all the way back to my back and like my scapula of my shoulder and down the left side of my spine.
Okay, so hey, real quick, Sandy, let me jump in there. That line that you found, that's like the main way they attack us. That goes from your left lung. You breathe in these heavy metals and this smart dust and all that crap. You breathe it in, it gets pulled to your back, and then it starts getting pulsed up your spine, and at the same time from your left hand, so that your left hand goes up your left arm, up from the back of the left shoulder blade, and it combines right there up to the left side and the top of the head.
Yes,
that's the main way they're doing it to everybody. So when you keep going down this path, Charlie, I think you're just getting poisoned a lot, to be honest. But when you keep going down this path, you'll feel it exactly like me and Sandy have. And maybe there's another person or two on the call. But it's nothing, you're doing everything right. It's just that you're eating and drinking, I believe, you're ingesting more heavy metals and nanoparticulate than me or Sandy, because they're getting access to your stuff so often. Or it could be that the pesticides and herbicides have been sprayed onto your radiation clothing, something like that. But you're getting your exposure is too high right now.
Now I'm also eating a lot of charcoal, and I'm eating garlic, and there's a pill, magnesium citrate, that I'll take one a day, so I make sure my colon's clean all the time. Are you pooping all the time?
That's great. Hold on real fast. That's great, Sandy. That's the third step of detoxing, right? Because Sandy is actually in a very beneficial spot because she can feel it all, so it's all very, very real for her. It's no longer theory. It's like once you feel it, you're like, oh my God, this is actually
happening.
Yeah, this is actually happening. So, but what she's talking about is detoxing, because we're constantly getting these heavy metals and nanomachinery in us. So she's constantly detoxing on top of it, which that's a great point. And the reason I jumped in there is because if you do that way more, Charlie, that could be the answer to start experiencing I'm sure you're already doing a lot of it though, aren't you?
Well, the fasting, I try to eat only one meal a day.
Uh-huh.
But if you do the fasting for 3 days, eventually you have to go back eating again, right? And you're going to get the.
We can eat alkaline foods like avocados and stuff. I mean, and brown rice, things like that, instead of just regular food. And sugar, don't eat sugary stuff.
Yeah, but the problem, Sandy, I think the problem is that Charlie's food is being messed with so much that whenever he's eating, he's getting a lot of this crap in him. That's what I've been saying.
That's why I moved home. I mean, and it's so much better. I mean, I'm an apartment manager. I had a free apartment, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I was attacked all the time. I actually was passing out. I would be walking and passing out, just fainting, and I actually broke my ankle in half one night and had to have surgery. But they were getting me really hard. I don't have those hits anymore since I don't live alone.
Yeah. Okay, so back on Charlie, what were you saying?
No, but after, let's say you do the 3-day fast, eventually you're going to have to go back eating again. And aren't you going to ingest the heavy metals and the nanobots again?
If your food supply is being heavily tampered with, yes. If it's not, if you're just getting regular poison food from the grocery store, then yes, but to a much, much, much less degree. The amount of things they can put in your food during a break-in is to 20 times magnitude, 50 times magnitude, something like that. This is literally how they kill people. During break-ins, they spray their food with heavy metals and nanowalkers, nanodust, smart foot dust, whatever it is, and you ingest it, and then they trigger your heart, after you've ingested it, and it causes heart attack. That's the main way they're killing people in 2025.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So they're doing it to kill us, not for research, right?
Well, it's both.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's just finish with Charlie, and then you make your point. Just because Charlie's already got interrupted a lot. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, it's okay. Also, I found they have charcoal pills on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of buying those, for the detox. I don't know if that,
Yes, that charcoal is very, very good, but it'd be best if you could find it from your outside of the food supply. Just because everything in the food supply is suspect in 2025. Just what it is.
Okay, so the vibration plate. Okay, that's about it. Well, thank you very much. I thought there was one more thing I wanted to add.
Okay, yeah, here, keep emailing me, okay? Because I think your big problem is going to be detoxing and getting these components because of what's going on in your environment.
Well, I emailed you about the eggs, right? Are there nanotechnology inside the eggs or shelled food? Would there be nanotechnology in that too, like an avocado? Would there be? You eat an avocado?
Yes. But they would be using synthetic heavy metal compounds in whatever they could, because that's what they do in the food supply in 2025. That wasn't the case 5 years ago, though. So this has all been a recent development. This is how crazy all this has gotten, this transhuman push.
All right.
How about canned food?
For your help.
Canned food is the same thing, but potentially less depending on. But hey, to the person that was asking about the kill question, go ahead.
Okay. Well, another question. I don't think I get break-ins anymore since I had the lock changed. We have a new maintenance man here, and I think maybe he's reluctant to. I think he's concerned about getting in trouble. But I have these security labels that read void when they're removed. I put one over the lock, and I put one between the door and the wall, and it occurred to me that they could have the same exact labels and just take it off and put their own label on, so I would never know. But I haven't seen anything, like remiss in my apartment. I don't think that, and that's the only way to get in that door. So could it possibly be true that I actually haven't had any break-ins for a couple of years?
No, probably not. But yeah, I'd probably not. They don't ever really back off because it's a big money-making scheme.
So they would actually have their own exact copies of my security labels from that company?
Potentially. I wouldn't know,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I'd have to see exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, if that's the easiest thing to do, then that's what they would do. Unlimited money.
And so you said they'll target another family member when they're done with us. That means when we're dead?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Well, I know. I'm sorry. Is this your first time here?
No.
Okay. Well, they want to. Sorry, can you mute yourself real quick? My echo was throwing me off. I'm sorry. They want to traffic you for as long as possible, but this is what I've seen. I don't know this for sure with everyone, but they're always increasing everything, right? So they're trying to get specific outcomes over time. I don't know how else to say that. I think it's done on a contractual basis. I'm not for sure on that, though. I do have a lot of reason to believe it. As they move to these specific outcomes, a body can only take so much under normal circumstances. Strokes, heart attack, organ failure, various chronic inflammation usually is what kills targeted people. Are those specific outcomes was that done on purpose is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Yes and no. People like Michael Trapala, 100% was killed on purpose, given a heart attack. Your average target, I would say, dies of chronic inflammation that they think is cancer, which usually is nanomachinery heavy metal clumps. Once that takes place, that whole apparatus that has been human trafficking you, which is usually military vets, it's got very little to do. Don't get caught up on the military vet part of it. That's just usually what it is. They're not. They just learned how to do a lot of this really bad stuff in the military. I'm not making a. I could make a claim against the whole military. Sorry, I forget that point. But either way, some people get so triggered by that. But that's what it is. Informal networks, right? These are rapists, these are murderers, and these are pedophiles. Okay? They'll go to the next easiest for them source of money, right? Or the most sexually exciting. God, this is disgusting. This is exactly what it is. Usually, more often than not, that criteria is filled with your family members, especially if you have children somewhere in your family. Like if your sister had kids, or like little kids. Little kids are these people's bread and butter. This is very disgusting. I'm sorry. The Jeffrey Epstein crowd of people, that was the international, national level that Jeffrey Epstein was interfacing with his clientele. That same operation, or a very similar operation, is happening in every county in the United States of America. And the people that run the neuroweapons are the same people running the many Epstein operations. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what this is. It's the FBI contractors.
Thank you. Well, I think my sister maybe targeted, like she came to pick me up for Christmas last year, and she had they put this blue tape on the perp cars and on some of the perp houses. And when she came to she had gotten a flat tire, and they put a piece of blue tape on her, or over the patch on the tire after they fixed it. And that was that like a message to me, or do you think that I'm wondering how, she's targeted too, because she tells me all of a sudden all these people are coming up to her in the stores, talking to her and stuff. And
okay, no, that's a great point. Let me jump in there. The reason they go so hard on people at the store, and that's a great indicator, is because when that person's buying food, they're spraying it with this nano material. And you can't see it. It's not like it's like hairspray. Right? We're talking about very covert release, and the weather weapon systems that are being used to guide this thing in is happening from drones over the area. So you're not going to see that either, right? And they're like, you're not even going to see them aim their phone at it. I imagine it's like a little laser pointer tool that they use to guide it, but you don't even see that either. I have seen a few things, but either way, sorry, getting off point again. There's just so much to talk about. Your sister noticing that is indicative of the apparatus that's targeting you. Again, I imagine you're fairly close with your sister, like you talk to her on occasion. This is a military doctrine, all right, that we're dealing with. It's hybrid warfare. It's 5th gen hybrid warfare, some bull crap like that. Doesn't really matter. But when they go for one person in this hybrid total war method, one of the first things they do, any given person, is they find everyone they know, and they get as close to everyone they know so that they can influence that person through that person's network. All right, it's a whole, I can't remember, it's like an influence operation network. I can't remember the military terminology for it, but it's very much part of the doctrine of all of this 5th gen hybrid warfare, plausible deniability, kill you any way besides out in the open. Did I ramble past it, or did you get it?
Oh, no, thank you. But also about the drones, when they first went over it with me, I was followed by drones, very obviously, and I've had drones overhead every night. Like the other night, there were like 25 drones out there, and they try to mimic stars. So are that, I figured if it was just surveillance, there wouldn't be so many drones. Do you know what they're doing with the drones?
Another great, hold on real quick. What year did it go overt for you?
2020. But it had been going on for years before that when I look back,
Yeah, probably like 2018 or something like that.
Oh, it had been going on for like 30 years before that, car vandalism and all that.
Okay, well then, could you mute yourself just because of the echo? That makes a lot of sense because I think the majority of people that are experiencing this right now have been in their ledger for some time, for some reason or another. For me, it was because of my family. There was a mini Jeffrey Epstein operation happening within my family. All right, I'm not here to talk about that. For you, you're going to have to look into this. But this could lead even more credence to why this apparatus is around your family. But it probably has something to do with your family. Wouldn't know that. That's just usually what it is. Your dad or your mom, your grandpa, or something like that. It could be a variety of things. For example, one lady I know, her grandfather was a high-ranking general. She was exposed to various things in her childhood that put her on this ledger, that when there was a spot needed to be filled for this torture experimentation, her name was just the next one down. It was like, okay, that's who goes on. And it didn't have to do with her grandpa setting her up or anything like that. It was that other career military had done things to her when she was a child. And that's why she got listed. I know another person, a similar story, he got listed in another place in the world. And when his family migrated here, that ledger followed him. And that goes to the nature of this international crime that we're dealing with, human trafficking. The question about your drones, the drones positioned around your house are primarily creating there's a physics thing behind it, I'm not going to go into it, are creating a capacity to move aerosols from usually your neighbors into your breezeways and breathways. It's basically weather weapons, and they're using a lot of acoustic weaponry to do this. You can hear it. It'll sound like a train in the distance, like a train rumbling, but it's always coming from your windows or your wall. It'll also sound like jet planes, right? And if you look up, you'll look like jet planes, but they won't be jet planes. They'll be drones that are scaled. they'll be a lot closer than they look. They're supposed to look like 737s, but if you look, like, get a pair of binoculars out and look at one of these things that's passing real close to you when you hear these jet sounds, and you go, that's not a 737. It's just made to look like one. It's incredible. Once you start looking up and noticing that, then you'll realize that most of the time, not all the time, because sometimes you're actually near an airport, and it really is a 737, but most of the time you hear that jet sound is acoustic weaponry pushing the aerosols into your breezeways, right? Because for these weapon systems to be hyper effective, you need to have a bunch of heavy metal in your body and nanomachinery to go to the implants, to connect implant to implant, so that they can get these advanced outcomes. And that's really what they're after, is advanced outcomes, i.e. mind control, organ failure. Mind control is really just organ failure. I wish we'd stop calling it mind control. We give these people too much power, albeit it's really taken off in the last few years.
So the revving car engines and the super blaster car engines are used for the same thing, right?
No. Well, yes and no. That's a great question. The car engines revving are releasing particulate through the exhaust. Okay? So it's a 2-for-1. That's the first thing they're doing, the most important thing they're doing. The second thing they're doing is they're timing the sounds of the engine to the directed energy weapons that are pulsing you. So as they rev up their engine and it releases this aerosol, you breathe the aerosol, the directed energy weapon pulses in time to that sound. And that's to create a stimulus anchor, because that's one of these advanced outcomes they're looking for, is that can we reproduce the symptoms of directed energy weapon attacks on this person's brain without the heavy metal particulate there and just the sound? Will your brain recreate these outcomes? Does that make sense?
Yes, I usually don't react anymore. I have no reaction.
Okay, that's great. But the heavy metal aerosols is something to take notice of. For example, and it's not just heavy metal, it's synthetic heavy metal compounds, and it's also the nanomaterials, the nanomachinery and whatnot. When the inversion layer drops right before, as the sun goes down, right after the sun goes down, what happens is the air above us comes crashing down, because it's the way that hot goes up, cold goes down, and the cold air is coming from the top at that point, so it comes down, slams in the ground. Usually at that point, you'll notice that they will time more what we would call street theater, more sounds, more directed energy weapon attacks, because there's more heavy metal aerosols in your air at that time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I know that was a bit in the tangent, but you want to take track of what times of the day they're making these sounds and you're getting these symptoms, because it will tell you everything about how they're releasing it into your environment and where it's coming from.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then the last thing about that is that usually for people that live in apartments, the main thing they're doing is releasing it using the sewer system. So they'll pour it down the drains in a neighboring apartment, and then they'll wick it up using these directed energy weapons, or whatever you want to call it, weather weapons. They'll wick this chemical up into your airspace through the drains. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yes. Hi, Onionhead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thanks. Oh, my goodness. Ooh, listening. But we'll just have to, keep on thinking of higher power. But I was noticing, like some of my neighbors who started to keep their lights on all day, their outside lights.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard of that. And I just said, and my own thinking is maybe because they're two right next to each other in particular.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll see if I think there's more, but at least two.
Is this your first time here?
No.
Okay. Sorry. It's hard to know without names listening.
My name's Meg.
Okay, nice to meet you. Even though it's not your first time. The lights, what they are, usually, if you think these people are perps and they're aiming these bright lights at you, usually, or informants would be a better word for it. Sometimes they are the human traffickers, though. Sometimes the human traffickers do not care. Like there's one neighbor, two neighbors actually, I'll just say it, even though I shouldn't, but there are pedophiles that are very much part of the inner circle, and they do not care if I know anything about them because they're so far gone. But either way, usually they're just informants, and what they get told is to aim this bright light, to turn on this bright light, especially at night, and they're not really told the reason, they're just told to do it. But what's happening is it's polarizing, so that's a fancy word for electrifying the nanomaterials in your eyes. So basically, it's acting as a directed energy weapon, and it's sending electricity from your eyelids into the front part of your brain. Blue light, blue, especially that blue that they're using in all the headlights nowadays, is a directed energy weapon. All right? The only reason that we don't talk about it as a society is because people are still, too dumb about it. But give it 5-10 years, and it'll be a common point of conversation that the blue light, that specific, that blue, almost purple light, it's usually it's such a off blue color. It's like, it hurts your eyes so much to look at it. But you see it in headlights a lot, and you see it in these informants light systems, is converted into electrical capacity through nanomachinery. That's one of the things nanomachinery does.
These happen to be, they're very savvy, because I think these happen to be, they have the that soft orange color like mine, because mine are incandescent. And I still think that they're informants, and I think it's that. I think that level, my neighbors could be possibly doing that. Okay, thanks for that. And so,
well, hold
I
on,
wanted to ask.
If you look at it if you look at that at night and it's hurting your eyes, if it's not hurting your eyes, then ignore it. But it'll be hurting more than just your eyes. Also, it'll be affecting your whole thinking. It'll be aggravating you.
Okay, thanks. Is there anything to do to clean up the food as we're eating it? Can we wash it off with anything?
Oh, geez. That's a great question. As of to date, I have not found a great way to do that. I found little ways, but it involves blenders, stuff like that. But there was a time, when I lived off milk because I figured out how to do this, but oil binds it. There's not a great way. The better way is being cognizant. The best way as of right now is being cognizant when you buy these things of, being messed with in the grocery store. Basically just trying to get in and out of wherever you are as quick as you can. Not to be too paranoid about this, but that's exactly what it is. Using polyurethane will block it, the nanoparticulate that can be put into our food. Polyurethane like you would get in a garbage bag, like a thick garbage bag for outdoor use, 3 millimeter thick, that will block it from being sprayed. Like you could put your food in a bag like that and put it in your backpack or whatever, and carry it with you, and there would be no worries that it would get hit. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's good. That thinking about the bag is good. I think I had a fee. So I heard you say earlier on about the fan that you don't really have to have it in your room. So that's great. Just somewhere, but should you be a certain square footage near it? You say, yeah.
The more you spin, the faster you spin it, the more effect it's going to have. You don't need to be near it. That's it. I would just, if you can, like I said before, ceiling fans are the most effective. Do it to your ceiling fans. You can keep them running 24/7. If you can't, do it with as many box fans as you feel is comfortable. Don't make yourself uncomfortable, and try not to make a breeze in your house, because it will actually help them with the particulate moving it around into your breezeways, breathways.
Oh, okay. And then can you here? I was going to ask you, can you metalize your wood fans, like putting a heavy sheet of aluminum on the blades, and then go ahead with your procedure?
Are you talking about
that word metal for the ceiling fans?
Oh no, just use put it on the top of the ceiling fan where no one can see, and use the mounting tape and the hot glue.
If the fan blades are not metal though, can I just put a layer of heavy aluminum on top of the blades?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just put the copper. Use the twisted copper wire and use the hot glue and mounting tape, and put it on the top.
Okay.
So you don't have to fight gravity.
Oh, okay. And you don't. Yeah. So I thought you had to have metal blade fans.
No. It's plastic and wood is actually better.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry if that might have just got mixed in translation somewhere. So I think I was saying the opposite.
Well, I think others sometimes they use fans in a different way, and I heard to push air out. And I am creating a breeze in some parts of the house, but I'll make sure I'm not near it though.
Well, but no. Don't be afraid of the breeze. I've got a breeze going right here with the ceiling fan. You can see it spinning. If you could see my screen, you could see it spinning just a little bit in the corner. What I was saying is don't put yourself in a wind tunnel thinking it will help. You know what I mean? A little breeze, whatever, who cares? But at one point I was doing it, the whole wind tunnel thing, and it's just, they'll use it against you.
Yeah. Okay, and just thinking about, I'll stop there for today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, email me if you got more questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's good hearing from you, Meg.
Thank you. You too. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Hi, Onionhead. Good evening, Onionhead. This is Lori. Oh, go ahead. I can wait.
Oh, hi, Lori. It's Regina. Real quick. Hi, Andrew. How do you get the nano out of your eyes? Is there a way to get it out of your eyes?
Okay, so the easiest, you can use oil to answer your question directly. You can use castor oil. Use one that's doesn't have extra stuff in it. So some castor oil is just for cleaning. Don't use that. You can also use mineral oil. That will help. The thing about it, though, is that the nano in your eyes is these nano walkers. All right? So when you do everything else, it gets so confusing with these nano walkers making the distinction. When you do everything else effectively, deactivating the implants, wearing the electrical components, the effect of nano anywhere is going to be significantly less. So they will focus on your eyes. I wear these blue blocking glasses. It helps with the nano walker crawling into my eye. It doesn't give it the ability to pull heavy metals that I'm breathing or that gets in my bloodstream to it, meaning that I still feel something, some of the time, a lot of the time, but it no longer is devastating to me. And I can feel it right now, but it's just drying my eyes out a little bit. It's not that bad.
Okay, thank you. Would you suggest putting it on your eyelids? The oil?
Yes, but be careful you don't get a reaction. I've done it. It was fine, but I don't specifically know if people get reactions from that. I don't think so.
Okay,
but,
thank you.
The other practical thing is get the blue blocking glasses. If you want just to address that and not the bigger thing, blue blocking glasses and oil will help you in the short term.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Andrew. This is Lori. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Hi, Lori.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to, and I'm not trying to go off of your, deviate from your pattern of how your logic on the, doing the EMP, which I built one and I've started to continue to use that, which I feel like the same thing that Charlie, I think, might have said, or maybe it's more beneficial than I know it has, but haven't, I don't think I'm as far as I should be with the implants. But my only question mainly tonight, though, so I'm just basically telling you I'm still using that. But basically just was curious about, I've heard like on YouTube videos and stuff about Rife technology and like, because that uses scalar waves. And some of that can be quite costly, which we're all, trying to limp along here with finances and, being not able to work fully and things like that. But just was curious in general if like scalar wave, combating it with like a Spooky 2 or another Rife technology, if you've heard anybody say that that's effective or not.
Okay, yes, I do know. I have one myself that I've been experimenting with for years. Haven't had great effect with it because I need the plasma tube for it to be effective. The
plasma tube?
Yeah, you need the $3,000 setup for that to be effective, and then you literally need to be like within 6 inches of it.
Okay, got it.
So it's not. It's not the most practical, but if you have the money and you want something to help you sleep and detox and all that right now, then it's something you can do. But the much better thing for you to do is to move through the paradigm. And so going back to the deactivating, it's not gotten you a lot of benefits.
Right, and it might just be that I'm slow at it, maybe.
When you use the device, is it going in between the wire and the electrode?
And maybe I'm not. I need to relook at your video again. I've looked at it a few times, but again, my processing can be kind of off a little bit. So I know that I'm aware of it. So sometimes just following things sometimes are hard for me. But in that token, maybe I'm not utilizing it right as well. But I think that, so what I'm doing is I'm putting the coil wire, like your video shows, on this bottom, wanting to zap, and with the EMP. And then, I think I hear a spark. So,
where are you seeing the spark, though?
Oh, okay. I guess I need to look at that more closely. The spark I see just basically, I think I'm seeing the spark where it's coming from, which is the end of the, where it's coming out of.
Okay, well, go ahead and we can come back in a few minutes, but go ahead and grab it for me and turn it on and fire it up and tell me where you see the spark. And then we'll go to the next one, and then when you come back, you'll be here.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
No problem. Does anybody else got anything?
Yeah, Andrew, on that subject about wires, can you use regular glue to put the wires around the thing? Or do you have to use hot glue machine? You said you use like Elmer's glue or something? Would that hold it down? Is that okay?
Yeah, that will work. I used hot glue. That was better, because it's easier to work with. You can use super glue on the wires and the electrodes. You can also just use tape if you want.
Okay, you use duct tape, huh?
Yeah, you could just use duct tape to keep the coil down, and then you'd have to split up the duct tape to get it to stick to the electrodes. But yeah, you can use tape.
And you said something about when they come in your house and they put the videos in, do they have to have like an electrical outlet to put those videos, or where are they putting the little cameras in your house when they come in for
I can't accurately answer that question. Besides that, I know that they don't need a power source. I think this is what I think, is that they can externally charge those with the ambient energy systems, weapon systems, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so they can put it anywhere. Okay.
But you can YouTube camera sweeping devices. I haven't got around to because it's another thing I don't got money for, But it's a whole thing. We could find them. We could all find them if we had the right equipment, and somebody's going to figure out the right equipment for targeted people. I don't know what it is though, so I don't have the money to experiment with it.
Telephone, you're trying to look around and see if you can see something, but that didn't work for me too well,
Yeah, because these things are so tiny. We're talking in 2025, the implants are smaller than hair. The cameras are probably about the size of hair.
Yeah.
And they're probably putting them on stuff where you wouldn't even, process that it could possibly be. Like, for example, like a light bulb, or maybe not, that's a stupid idea, but you get the point. just in places you would never, if you're not a spook, like, why would you think of these things?
Exactly. Well,
Anything else?
That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, and the only reason, hey, just get back to the paradigm. The only reason I say deactivate the implants first is because it's the most quick-acting thing. But the demagnetizing wearables, building the electrical components to wear, is probably the more day-to-day impactful thing. So if you can't deactivate your implants right now, just get on getting wire and starting to wrap it around your body and starting to feel these things happen in your body, like Sandy was talking about earlier. How she can feel the specific area of her body where these heavy metals and machinery is at, and where it's being polarized, and these directed energy weapons are electrifying her body, the route that goes through her body. But that's what it is.
I wanted to ask
Go ahead, Rachel.
a question about Sandy, and if it's her left arm or her right arm.
It's my left arm.
Yeah, it's usually the left side of the body.
Is there veins, like, are your veins kind of popping out on your left arm?
Well, I don't know if that's from working out, because I worked out really heavy for many years, and yoga, but I can distinctly, when I'm shaking and I let my arm shake on the shake machine, I can almost see that trail on my arm. And what I did was, like, took my zapper and started on my the eye of my elbow on the front side, and I just laid it there. And I waited till I felt all the tingling going on, where I could feel where it was, and then I just sat and felt it for a little while. So I do think there's a distinct line that goes through a vein or by a vein.
Yeah, it's right. It's right by a vein. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's because the heavy metals are coming from your bloodstream and nanomachinery, and it's getting pulled electromagnetically around the what do they call that? The edge of the vessel? I don't remember the right medical term, but it's getting pulled to the edge and getting pulled just outside of the artery. And not only that, but you'll see that it parallels your nervous system too.
Yeah.
Because of the electrical capacity your nervous system has, and it's trying to basically steal that energy.
Yeah, you just have to sit and feel it. I mean, if you find a tingly spot where you can feel the heavy metals moving, or the nanobots, whatever you want to call them, I refuse to. I have stupid names. If you sit and feel that and just pay attention, and sometimes you just have to close your eyes and lay there so you can concentrate this, and it will you'll start feeling exactly where it's going.
Okay, but that's great. That's exactly what I do too. Here's the problem, though, for the average person that's listening right now, is that there's such a substrate of heavy metals and nanoparticulate in their body that if they were to do that, they wouldn't feel anything besides a general ache over their whole body, because it's not broken up enough to feel specific pathways. If that makes sense. Yeah. Which is how it was for you just a few weeks ago, Sandy.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And then I zapped about 2 or 3 months ago, and it went away completely. And then it was just like tenfold. It was 10 times worse. It was like they just spent 3 months filling me with metals, I guess. And then it was horrible.
That's so great, though. Thank you for saying that. You're wrong, but thank you so much for saying that. What happened is, this is what's going on to some people. If you're like Lori, if you're running the implant deactivator and it's working, right, then what's been going on since we've been publishing this information, moving through it, is they're starting to use lasers on people way, way, way more. They were doing it before, but the second they see you start deactivating, nowadays, what they're doing, like last however long, I don't know, it depends on where you are in the world, in the country, they just start aiming lasers at you and just pumping you full of directed energy weapon radiation. When before they would just use little, they would use a different weapon system different frequencies and different levels of those frequencies, different energy amounts being sent to you, then they just increase everything to a huge magnitude. And it's almost like, you think you're going to be free. Well, you're going to see how much, you fighting back gets you. So they start hitting you really, really hard. But what happened at first is when you deactivate the implant, the weapon system they were using up to that point was no longer working because they were relying so heavily on the implants. It took them 2-3 months, whatever it took them, to realize that you had done this, to do all the testing to prove it. For whatever reason they do that, the data acquisition part of it. And then the counteroffensive, which is to aim lasers at you. But the aerosols and the heavy metals and the nanoparticulates was always there the whole time. They were always releasing the aerosols or poisoning your food or whatever, at the grocery store, whatever it may be. So the thing that changed in that time period was the directed energy weapons capacity that they were aiming at you. Meaning basically they had to intensify the attack upon you. All right? And the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to pretty much every single person I've come across. That's why I didn't publish all of this other information right when I learned it, because I needed to prove to myself that I could move through these attacks before I told people I had the one solution, of the paradigm of information that I'm presenting. And this is why you need to wear components too, because as you deactivate, they're just going to aim those crazy lasers at you. I mean, literally, you can see these lasers in security camera and low vision. They come up they look like lights, and they're literally like a beam. Kenneth Grove captured it very well out of Houghton Lake, Michigan, Wisconsin. No, it's Michigan. Anyways, I've got videos of his up on the Rumble and the YouTube page, Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube. You can see for yourself what these things look like. But basically, when you deactivate, they just aim these things at you near 24/7. They're literally doing that to me right now. This part of my head, I can feel it. It feels like someone's pressing their finger into my temple right now, and that's the laser weapon. Okay, so get going on your components more, because that's the thing. Once you get to that point, and that could be the first day that you turn on the deactivator, is that you need to be wearing these components. But I guarantee you, as of right now, you do those 3 steps that we talked about, and you will break through.
Okay.
Not saying the attacks will stop, but you will break through the debilitating effects of the attacks. And if that weren't true,
they get me so bad in traffic. So I go to work, and I'm in Texas, so it is. I get stuck in traffic, and they just nail me. I mean, they must be all around me.
Yeah, and that's because of the heavy metal aerosols. And here, too, at various times of the day, they will release so much heavy metal aerosols, whether it's because of the inversion layer or whatnot. And I will breathe lots of them. At those points, I still don't have debilitating symptoms, but it can cause effects. Right? It's still way better than it ever was before, but it still has effects breathing all this crap.
I hate them.
Yeah, well, it's a sick system, and it's all falling apart right now. We're the ones that are making it fall apart. So we just got to keep pressing forward. And everyone that's doing this that has had any success whatsoever, please spread the word, publish this, get this out. The more of us that do this, the faster we're going to move through all of this. Because this is a slavery system, right? It's not just about any one of us particularly. It's about this whole system. And where a few of us break out, all of us will soon. So we just need to keep pushing forward, keep working all the stuff we talk about, and keep telling other targets, like, this is the only answer as of right now. All right? And I hope that changes. I hope we can consolidate all of this information into one machine or something like that we could wear on the outside of our body, and it'd be fine. But as of right now, this is the only way I know how to do it, and I think this is going to be the way it stays for a long time.
So I have a question, please.
Yep.
So I want to know, what would you do about the vents in the bathroom that they keep flipping and shocking me?
Yeah,
exhaust fan, yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting you really bad with the heavy metals. Yeah, the aerosols, like we've been talking about. And that's the last thing they're left with. When you're deactivating, when you're wearing the components, they just have to increase the chemicals and the heavy metal and the nano in the air. So the best thing to do with the particular events, if you know particularly where it's coming from, it's easy. You get some polyurethane, 3 millimeter thick at least, and you can cover that area wherever it's coming from, and you can use tape or something like that to seal it. And the particulate can't move through that polyurethane.
Okay, so thus far, what I've done is use the 3 layers of aluminum foil. And, once I can hear it, it's shocking me, but I'll try to use that the next material set. So one more thing I want to say is the what I've noticed, the high voltage EMP, that has been very helpful. And then going on the vibrating plate, that makes a huge difference, just using both of those together.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Do you mind if I say your name?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say it then. But we have been talking before. I helped her with the high voltage EMP device. They built it though, or she built it. It's she's using it. You can go on Rumble to see what she's talking about. It's a high voltage EMP device. It's very, very, very powerful machine. It does take a little bit of handiness to build it. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it costs $100, $150 to get all the parts for it, depending where you get the parts. And when you're all said and done, you've got a pulsed electromagnetic field that would retail cost you $15,000, give or take. And yes, the $15,000 machine that you would build would be much safer to use. You know, it would have everything in a nice sealed off boxes and whatnot. But for $100 to $150 and a little bit of know-how, you can build a pulsed electromagnetic field that will greatly help you. It deactivates implants, and it detoxes nano and heavy metals rapidly. I can't express that enough, how rapid it works. Every night I sleep with one of these things. If I didn't sleep with them, I wouldn't get any sleep as of right now because of the amount of heavy metals and aerosols basically that's in the air, just like she was talking about. How's your sleep been?
Well, I sleep pretty good, except for if they decided they want to wake me up before the time. But because I was sleeping in some other things before, but I don't sleep with it. I just because I was waiting for more instruction from you. So during the day, I just sit and just move it all over my body. Yeah, I literally just have it on my body, and I just move it all over my body. And I just started. This is just miraculous how this works, because yesterday I got my vibrating machine on, and I did one therapy yesterday for 10 minutes, and I could tell the difference right away that when I woke up today. And then I did another treatment today, and it was huge. So I'm telling you, using the vibrating plate. Before that, I was using the TENS machine with the pad on it, and so I get hit really hard in my head to the point where sometimes I cannot function. But once I use the TENS machine with the pad, and I just put it to where as high as I can tolerate it, it just move all that stuff out my brain. And so yeah, it's really a miracle how this thing works.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. It's fantastic. When I figured that out, I didn't actually figure that out. I just figured out how to make it cheap and easy for anybody. That was Michael Tripala that figured that out. That's the guy I'm always referencing. He was killed for figuring that out, but that it detoxes nano. And he didn't even know about the implants, but he figured out the nano part of it, that's for sure. Geez, I forgot what I was... Go ahead.
And that was on your Rumble channel, how to make it?
Yeah, it's the high voltage EMP device.
So just Google that, and it should come up with the video.
Yeah, or just go on my Rumble, and you'll see it. It's like in the last 10, 15 videos. It's also on YouTube under the playlist DIY.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
and then
also another one. I had one of the criminals. I was working on my car this afternoon. One of the criminals was sitting in front of my house, and then he started to accelerate and accelerate the pollutants coming out of his car, like you said. Just like you said, he was doing that to me. So I had to inhale some of the smog coming out of his car.
Yeah, well, you're inhaling that 24/7 or near 24/7. It's just that when you were outside, they made more of a show of it and tried to get you to breathe more so that they could get one of those outcomes. Trying to pick a fight more or less, or trying to really make your head ring when they make some other noise.
Yeah, I got my hose out and pretended I was watering the plants and doused his car with it. The water, so he wasn't too happy with it.
Yeah, well, that's type of one of the outcomes, right? Trying to pick a fight with you.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, expert one.
Yeah.
Have you been going on the wearables? Have you been building those?
Actually, I ordered the raw material, so I just got the right material in today. So we're gonna be working on it this weekend.
Okay, very good. Let me know how that goes. You've got my email.
I will. Thanks.
If you want, that is, I'm not your boss. I'm nobody's boss. Is there? Oh, hey, did we get the person with the stun gun? Was it Lori? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yep.
I have it in front of me, and so where I'm seeing it is, the metal that goes over the flashlight part, that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm not currently doing it because of the noise, but I did it prior, and that's where I'm seeing the spark gap going towards on that.
So the spark gap is going between the two electrodes of the stun gun?
Let's see. So, yeah, you know what? I'm not only going to do it one time to remind, but let me just see real quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going from the copper wire that's, twisted down towards it, and it's making there's two, so there's two arcs or whatnot of energy, I'm seeing, and it's going to that piece of metal that's right above the flashlight part.
Okay, is it going? Sense? Yeah, is it going through the wire?
How would I know that?
Well, that's what I'm asking, because I can't really imagine what you're saying. Is the spark going from the wire to one of the metal pieces of the stun gun, or is it going from one side of the stun gun to the other side of the stun gun?
Okay. So the part that's, the copper exposed one, right?
Yeah.
That it's going from that. I'm seeing, hopefully we're talking the same, language here, but I'm seeing the spark or whatever that's going from the twisted copper, and it's actually like two of them, like an arc almost, like it's making, and it's from the copper twisted wire to that piece of metal that's covering the flashlight. But I'm not really seeing it going through the coiled wire.
Okay, well then it's definitely not working. It's definitely not working. I'm glad we figured this out. The other side of the wire. So one side of the wire is twisted around the electrode, right? The electrode is the metal piece of the stun gun. That's what the electrode is. Okay. So one side of the wire is wrapped around that, right?
Right.
Okay, and then there's a coil.
Right.
Okay, and then the other side, there should be that wire should be exposed, the end of it, and it should be gapped it should be gapped away from the other electrode, not the first one, but the other one by about 1/4 of an inch.
Okay. I think sounds like it's right. It sounds like it, but but maybe I need to send you a picture. Well, I guess I can't actually send you a picture of it working, but
you can.
Can I get a second? I have the same problem with my EMP. There's the enamel broke down on the coil, and it's actually a spark going in part of in the coil too. Just like it on the bottom part.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's okay, even though there's a spark on the coil, too.
Well, no, it isn't. It won't be functioning anymore because that's a short circuit.
Oh.
So, okay, both of you, can you either send me videos of make them quick so that they can email it, like a 5-second of you using it, and I'll be able to tell you immediately. Do you both have my email?
Yes.
I do. I could send it to you later. I'm not in a position to send it to you right now.
Yeah, no. Take your time. Whenever. I'm not your boss, right?
Oh.
Sorry for talking that way.
I think the enamel broke down, or the wire has a broke in the part of the coil, and it's gapping, in that wire within the coil.
Yeah, that's indicative of a short circuit, and that would mean it's not functioning correctly. But yeah, you need to redo it most likely. But if you want, send me a video, and I'll tell you for sure.
Oh, okay. I have a couple of them doing that.
You think I use a larger
move that
gauge wire, so that won't happen, or
hold on real quick. Use a well, you can reuse the magnetic wire, but be very careful because that enamel scratches off very, very easily. So when you get done making it and the enamel is still intact, put a nice thick hot glue bead over the whole thing so that nothing will penetrate it or scratch that enamel off.
Oh, okay. I didn't do that. I only put the hot glue in certain sections to hold it together. Because it wasn't like that in the beginning. It occurred over a period of time of using it. That happened.
Yeah, the enamel got scratched off. Okay, and then back to Lori. What were you saying?
I think that was all I had to say with that part, but I definitely will send you. You just need a video of it being used, not on me necessarily, but me pushing it, activating it, so you can see where the spark is, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm just on a note. Just wanted to say I have also looked at your video several times, and I did build a capacitator as far as with the aluminum foil, plastic wrap, those layers. So I'm still working on getting that to function for me, and then using an inductor of copper coiled. But it's I used it once when I went to my daughter's camp or whatever, and I was real remote, and it was way out in the woods, and I was being attacked really heavily. But not to be vulgar or anything, but I placed two of the copper coiled wires, like one around each breast, and then I had made it big enough almost like to put around the capacitator around my chest, and then I put my jacket on, and I kind of kept it in place with my armpits, and that seemed to help quite a bit. I need to try that again because I did get relief with that.
That would help quite a bit, but I think your implants are still going just based off what we just talked about, which means that the wearables aren't going to help you near as much, but they still will. And then if you had a conductive layer with the wearables, it would make it even more effective.
Okay. Can you explain to me one more quick time on what the conductive layer, what do you mean about the wearable? What do you mean?
Yeah, underneath the wearables, if you put a conductive layer on, then everywhere the wearables touch, it will spread to the conductive layer. Everywhere the wearables are, I said that wrong. Everywhere the conductive layer is touching, if the wearables are touching the conductive layer, it will spread to.
Okay. Thank you much for that.
You're welcome, because it's conductive. So it's going to spread that electrical effect.
Okay. Well, and I think for me, I need to just, instead of trying to figure out some of this on the active calls, not to waste anybody's time or get things convoluted, a lot of it for me is I need to refresh myself on some of your videos. That would be helpful for me particularly. And I know for me that they're doing a lot of entrainment. I mean, whether I'm typing on my phone or any kind of movement of mine, they really, it's a lot of entrainment is what's going on with me. I know that. So, yeah, that's just a note. One thing to try to help people, but real quick, this is just, I did notice for me the acetone to my nail beds, like fingernail beds and toes, that helps a lot, or applying peroxide in a dropper, and that helps for me anyway. But I've also got, I believe, chronic Morgellons, in addition to other things. But
Morgellons is the nano machinery with the nano walkers. That's what Morgellons is. And maybe some other things too. I wouldn't really know, but I would shy away from using anything like acetone on your body. You're already so irradiated and inflamed. I would really not recommend doing that. Even if it's helping you short term, having that acetone on you is going to be hurting you mid-term, long-term.
Okay, thanks. I know it. Well, that's why I didn't even say, because again, for me, sadly, some of the things I do is not good, for anybody really to do, and I wouldn't recommend, at all. So that's good you said that. I do think peroxide's, beneficial though.
Well, peroxide, Lori, I used peroxide for years. It's the same thing. It's good in the short term, but it's actually going to make your body more receptive to being inflamed in the mid and long term. So that's another thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad I mentioned that then.
Yeah, move through the paradigm because all that stuff is fairly safe. Like yes, you can accidentally shock yourself, and yes, if you've got aluminum on you, you could get aluminum dust, on your skin, whatever. So use your best judgment. Cover it up with duct tape, that type of thing. But it's far safer than using, any chemical, even like borax. You just anything you use to mitigate this that you buy at a store, you're really risking other outcomes.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example. Hydrogen peroxide, 2018, clean, perfect, great. Broke up the nanomaterial on my skin, very, very effectively, okay? Somewhere in 2019, 2020, 2021, all of it got poisoned. This is a big reason why people are getting targeted. Anytime you find a solution, really what you're doing is you are identifying a gap in the nanotechnology proliferation in society. So the FBI contractors are going to bump that information up, and it's going to get all the way back to the corporations that are heavily involved in all of this. Anything that's traded on the 500 or almost everything traded in your grocery store is involved in these corporations, and they will literally buy, sell, and tweak ingredient list to make sure that gap is closed, and that not only is that gap closed, but that whatever you were using to help you will now hurt you. All right? It's not even good enough for them just to close the gap of like hydrogen peroxide effective. Now it's got to be toxic for you. So now the average hydrogen peroxide that you will use, yes, it will help you in the immediate short term, but just a little bit after that, it will hurt you. And there's a very specific reason for that. They're using I don't know particularly what it is, but it's a glue-like material within it that actually helps the nano adhere to your body. That was my own personal experience. I'm glad you brought it up.
Kind of like the biofilm, that kind of production?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
The biofilm is the same plaque, the same gray goo, bullcrap nanomachinery that grows in your body, but once it gets to the outside of your skin, it's a bioplaque. But it's on the inside, it's functioning more or less the same way. It gets denser. Your skin and the way when you move through the environment, it breaks it off. It can only plaque so much.
Okay.
But it can't plaque a lot. That's what Morgellons is, by the way. Underneath that plaque, when it's thick, that's when you get those Morgellon lesions and all that.
Mhm.
If
well,
you look
thank
at
goodness, I don't have. Oh, go ahead. I don't have a lot of. I've done well with that even through my targeting. I don't have a lot of chronic, open wound lesions. But like, for example, if I get cut I do a lot of yard work and things like that, but if I get any kind of nick of my skin or any of that, then it becomes a big deal. So, but the chronic Morgellon lesions I've had, and you can see scarring on my, where it's white blotch, but so I've overcome a lot of that in ways. But, then again, if I get like a cut on me or something like that, then it's almost like, of course, the inflammation part, they don't want that cascade of healing to ensue. So that becomes a big problem. Even like a small wound can become a big, big deal,
Okay, the easiest thing to resolve a lot of that on your skin is to shave.
Mm-hmm.
Shave all of your hair, use an oil Do it on rotation. That's what I do. You, of course, do whatever you want. Do it on rotation. You can actually use that same oil, mineral oil, castor oil, to clean your hair if you don't want to shave it, like get to the scalp and whatnot. It's just that shaving it is so much more effective. But shave all your body hair immensely.
That's cool. And I even bought, Regina was kind enough, she knew of another TI that I guess that's chronic morgellons that uses one of those laser hair removals. And I need to find mine because I recently moved, but that seems to be working fairly well, to shave the area and then to use that electric shaver, or the IPL, the light laser one.
Yeah, what I like about the simple disposable razor, and then again, I rip the gel strips off. I've said this before, but never use those gel strips, okay? But what I like about the disposable razor and the oil is that it literally, it comes off like rubber cement. You can literally see it on your blade. And when you've got a heavy plaque that you cut off, because you'll literally scrape the first the first layers off of it. And then, again and again and again, you'll get more and more of it. But it comes back, obviously. Is that it removes it. It's not just that it stops it from being active, it's that it takes it off of you, which is important.
That's good to know. Well, Onionhead, about shaving, I had long hair and I was pulled it back into a messy bun and then put a copper head rag on that was used for, I think I told you about that already, when the COVID was going on or whatever, that was really for the neck. But I used that to pull back everything away from my face and my ears. Well, I really, because it wasn't getting a good, bearing on anybody else, barometer, I should say, to pinpoint from anybody else on whether this is a good thing to do. But I went ahead and shaved my head. I had my daughter shave my hair. But so far, I've not, because I had long hair and I pulled it back, but it wasn't good, that way either. It was too much anytime I washed my head, it's a big to do. If I got a piece of hair anywhere in my body, it was a big ruckus in the shower. I usually had to do my head separately from my bathing, if that makes any sense. I had to do that with my head in the tub, But now that I've shaved my head, I don't, so far, I've still been using the stinking head rag because it has copper in it. But I haven't been able to discern whether or not it's actually been beneficial for me to do that, but I don't care about my looks right now, per se. I just want to be feeling okay, But, yeah, my head probably looks like yours, it's shaved, which is really weird for me to have done. But so far, I've not seen the benefits of it, though.
Underneath your hair, I bet you've got a whole bunch of plaqued up, bunch of bioplaque. Yeah, use castor oil. Okay. Just try it. Use castor oil. Try it.
Okay, and is it the closer to now I've got, because my hair grows pretty fast, and especially my head hair, I got a lot of it, the thickness of it, I always have, ever since I was born, I think. Because even when I was born, not to go too back to inundated and want to hear leave details, but I remember my mom had said, when I was 3 months old, it was like I had a wig on. That's how much thickness of hair I always had and the amount of it. But what you're saying though is would it be best to, so would I use a razor on my head too, or a shaver, the razor, a metal razor first, the electronic one first, and then do the
if you wanted to completely shave your hair, then you'd use scissors first, and then a electric razor, and then a regular disposable razor. If you want to have a nice shiny dome cap like me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have it all the way completely, but because I got about maybe an inch or something. But okay, great.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't care.
Get a razor and keep it tight. And like I said, shave all of your hair on rotation. That's one of the easiest, cheapest things that anyone can do to relieve them symptoms a lot, right? So that's what I do. I shave, my left arm one day, I'll shave my right arm the other day, and it's just on rotation. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's just because.
What I mean too? It seems like behind the ears, it's like a cocoon. That's always a part of the hair too. That's really bad for me. Is like about an inch or two from the temple area. That stripe, right behind the ear, and that also follows the vagus nerve of the body, which I think they attack that extensively. Onionhead, in my opinion, I've heard other sources say that as well about, they attack the vagus nerve.
Lori, that's right, because the nanomachinery, the artificial nervous system, whatever you want to call it, the pathway is going to be constructed right in parallel with the vagus nerve and the blood flow. Right there, it's gonna be right in between all that stuff, because they want to hijack. I'm sorry for the Yuval term, but they want to utilize the natural process of your body, externally using these directed energy weapons. So yeah, it's always going to parallel where there's a blood supply and electrical supply naturally.
Okay. Got it. Well, yeah, because they're trying to take over our own DNA resonance, our own electrical, the way our body. Well, like you said before, and I totally wholeheartedly. Two things you said that we talked about tonight was the left side of the body is affected more, but they also are building like more of an artificial nervous system, and that does feel like what is ensuing what's going on. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying totally. Hey, one more tip, and then I'm done briefly talking, but this because it might help a lot of people, and it's not that expensive. I've used enough, and I'm attacked. I think again, I'm attacked pretty heavily, and it's not for not trying. I just haven't figured it all out just yet, and followed your paradigm to I need to be doing. But use of hand warmers, they're basically they were like $20, and there's like 3 settings on them. I use the TENS unit as well, like you've encouraged, and that helps a lot. But I use always have a hand warmer in at least my left hand, and then I've also been putting one at my lower spine, like where my waist is. I put that like on a 1 setting, and put that like in between the TENS unit pads, and put that there, and that helps a great deal. Break up the frequency, and I don't get as attacked as much using the handheld warmers, I guess because they're trying to heat our body up. And with the heat, I don't know, it messes them up somehow, Onionhead.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it could just be helping you detox the heavy metal nano in that area. When you heat it up, it's like it helps you sweat it out. Yeah, I don't know though.
Maybe so. Yeah. Okay. I just thought I'd can event. I mean, because like we talked about before, whether it helps me or someone else, we all win. If it, sharing information. That's why I love these calls so much. Sharing this information and talking things out. Whether it helps me or somebody else, we all win if one of us is better off, no matter what. So that's the whole goal. It's not a selfish thing. It's we all need to work as a team and get through all this together, because if one person exceeds and does well, then we all win, at the end. So, but thank you for all the attention tonight with my stuff, and I appreciate it very much, and I will get a video to you as soon as I can. My phone's kind of junky, but I will work with it and send a short clip and see what you think on it. So
sounds great. Make sure you say Lori from the call, just so I remember exactly.
Oh yeah. You know what? I said I was done, but one more thing. It's what you were supposed to add me to the newsletter, and I've looked for it, but haven't seen it. But I have a lot of problems with it. Yeah, and I'll look again. Maybe I've overlooked it, but a lot of times I'm more.
I remember you. Sorry,
yeah,
I remember. I remember you asking, and I did add you, so I find that interesting. Thank you for telling me.
Okay, well, and again, it might be my bad, and I'll check again on Onionhead, but I thought maybe, because I even Googled or searched by your name. Would it be under your name, the newsletter? Should it pull up if I received it?
Yeah, but check your junk. Check your junk mail.
Okay. What's the title of it? Is it newsletter, or how should I look for it, I guess?
Online free class, I think. I sent it out yesterday, so you should be able to find it in the junk. Yeah, yesterday. This week was.
Thank you. I didn't.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't doubt that you didn't add me. I figured it was on my end, but thank you for that guidance.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It still might be on my end, though, honestly. So I'm glad you told me.
Okay, thanks. I'm going on mute so someone else can talk. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. Hello?
Hey, I have one more question.
Okay.
Did you
hold on one
okay, I'll be on.
No, Sandy. No, Sandy, you're first, and then Liliana.
Hey, the castor oil you put actually in your eyes?
Yeah. I've done it.
Okay, I'm doing it right now. And then the TENS machine, I also have one of those. So put those all over you then, too?
Well, no, what you're doing is way more effective. The TENS unit, it was just a stopgap a long time ago. But the TENS unit, it's good for short-term use, it'll help disconnect these nano chains. But in the long term, in the midterm, it actually helps grow them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so, avoid it, really.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm glad I asked. Okay,
Liliana?
carry on.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but a little over the first half hour, I was not able to connect with you. So I wonder if you can send me the video for today, maybe tomorrow or whatever,
Well, yes, it will be posted on Rumble and YouTube, and I'll email it to you. But you really ought to be checking the Rumble and the YouTube, just to see all the videos and whatnot.
Well, yeah, I checked the Rumble. I was trying to connect with your class today, and it was not there. And email also, I did not get this time. I think there's some tampering with my phone, and so I was able to find it through other sources, not the regular sources that I use.
Well, speaking of that, you cut out pretty bad, but I think I caught what you said. Yeah, try YouTube. Yeah, I think you're right. I think your stuff's getting messed with. But I'll send it to you either way.
Yeah, and then when I went to YouTube and I did a search on YouTube, and I put Onionhead Andrew, I didn't get your channel there, or on YouTube. I was able to get the Rumble that you sent about Thanksgiving, so I clicked on that, and I saw your previous videos, but I wasn't able to connect through YouTube. So I wonder if you have to, in the search for YouTube, instead of putting Onionhead Andrew, I should put something else in that search.
Well, in the search criteria, go look for channels, and Onionhead Andrew, one word, will pop it up. But I'll send you all that stuff, and then you can go back to that, and you can go back to that email right now with the Rumble, obviously, and track it back down to there. But I'll send you all the links so that we don't, you have them all.
Okay, thank you so much, Andrew.
You're welcome. And if I don't send it to you tomorrow, please remind me, and I'll send it to you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.
Good hearing from you. Okay, was there anybody else? We're nearing 2.5 hours right now.
One last question about the coil around the fan.
No, you're right. Go ahead, Joe.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Joe.
If I was going to put coil around the electric wire around my fan, should I put it like around the whole blade, or just the end of it, or?
So you got it. Hey, you need to look at that video, okay? It's on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, like I was just saying. But it's in you'll see it. You'll get it. You'll get it so quick.
Okay.
I've got it posted like 3 times. You just need to look at it once.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And then, hey, email me.
Thank you.
Same thing. Email me if you got any questions.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. Have a blessed evening.
Oh, thanks. Was that Meg?
Yes, it is. Yes, and I have another great idea, but I was going to save it for a big call. But I guess I'll try it out now. Do you have a donate button on your Rumble, or can you donate?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alrighty, good. Because the more you know, then the more funds you have, then the more you can help us. So.
Well, that's true. That's it.
I'll say that in the next meeting. I'll say that in the meeting.
Thank you. I got a bunch of stuff I need money for. That's all to do with targeting. That's I was going to make a video about that. But yeah, if you want to, if you have the means to, please donate. It's all coming back to you eventually through information.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, God. Yes, yes. You've been very generous with us. Thanks.
Thanks, Meg. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay,
Was there anybody else? God bless. Is there anybody else?
Hey, what about magnets? Do you ever use magnets for anything?
Yes, that's also more information to come out in the future. I will say this. If you arrange magnets in an attraction, the space in between that becomes very dielectric. I know that's a bunch of physics, but basically the space in between attracted magnets helps you demagnetize.
So you put anything in between them, or?
Yeah, so like if you had two magnets and you put them, let's say, opposite each other in attraction on your finger, then it would help demagnetize your body. Yeah. It would help.
Yeah, I put them around. I have a cap and I put them around the temple area, and it really helps a lot, like for headaches and stuff.
In attraction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you're creating a dielectric field that's the opposite of magnetic. So it's helping demagnetize you. But yeah, no, there's a bunch more I could say about that, but it's just like I said, I need to do more tests and whatnot.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great point, though, Joe. Appreciate it. All right, hey, we're at 2.5 hours. It's been a pleasure, as always.
Tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet. Ooh, 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 ooh.